Just a recap of the formulas in case you came in late, missed them, needed one, there they are. Slope, midpoint, distance, circle equation in standard form, and what we call y equals mx plus b, which is slope-intercept form. Then I think all the classes got to go over these today, 1, 2, and 3. So we have a midpoint for number 1, slope for number 2, distance for number 3, which you could also graph and do Pythagorean theorem and find the hypotenuse. Pause the video anytime you need to. Most classes got to see number 4, but just to recap on that, the center is at 2, 0. You can see that, and the radius you can count is 3. Once you know that, it's got to be choice A, because you need the opposite. If it's positive 2 graphed, then it's negative 2 in the formula. That eliminates these two. And the radius has to be squared, so if it's 3, it has to be 9 in the equation. Number 5, same idea. If it's 5, negative 2 for the center of the circle, we're looking for negative 5, 2. So it can't be these two. A radius of 3, which means it has to be choice B, because you need 3 squared, which is 9. Number 6. This is different information than you're used to, but you can figure it out because the only equation that could have a center at negative 5, 3 would have an x plus 5 and a y minus 3. There's only one of those choices, and you can see it below. Number 7. You're looking for the center. Now, if the center is got something to do with those, right? It's the opposite. So it's 1 comma negative 3, which means it can't be those. And the radius must be square root of what you see at the end. The square root of what you see at the end. Number 8. If you were to just do even a simple sketch of this, if the center was at the origin and some point on the circle was negative 4, 0, well, negative 4, 0 is right here, which means the radius must be 4 all the way around in all 4 directions, and the center is 0, 0. So you have x squared plus y squared equals 4 squared, which is 16. Number 9. Which of the following lines are parallel to the line 2y plus 3x equals negative 4? Well, the first thing you have to do is move this thing around so it looks like y equals mx plus b, which is what I did, but I'll show you how I did it. I took away 3x from both sides. That left me with 2y equals negative 3x minus 4, and then I divided by 2 for every term, and I ended up with this. So parallel means same slope. So which of these lines, A, B, C, or D, has the same slope as that? They're not all in y equals mx plus b form, but one of them is very obvious, and it is in that form, so you don't really have to do any work. Which one has the same slope, meaning it's parallel? Number 10. Which of the following lines are perpendicular? So same idea, except now it's perpendicular. So again, I have to get this line in the right form. So I'm going to add 2x back over. And that leaves me with 10y equals 2x plus 5. I'm going to divide everything by 10. And I have 2 over 10, which reduces to 1 over 5. And 5/10 is 1/2. So that's what I have written over here on the right. So if this is my slope, but I want it to be perpendicular, I don't want 1/5. I want negative 5, the negative reciprocal because of the word perpendicular. So which one of these lines has a slope of negative 5? Well, it's not A, because that one's in the right form and I can see that's positive 5. If you take 5x and move it over, this one's going to look like this. There's my slope of -5 right there. No need to go any further. Number 11, you have a point and a slope, so you just plug it in. My slope is 2, my point is 3, -1. So now I have -1 equals 6 plus b. Take away 6 from both sides, and b is -7. There's only one choice up there that has a y-intercept of -7. Number 12, same thing. Y equals mx plus b. They gave me an x and a y, and they gave me an m. My slope is -3. My x is 4. My y is -6. Add 12 to both sides. -6 plus 12. There's only one equation up there with a b of +6. 13 and 14, each class went over them. Right, so a line parallel to the x-axis is always going to be horizontal. So it has to be cutting through the y, and this is the only one that has no slope. 14, both classes did that as well. We went over that in detail at the end of all 3 classes today. Number 15, we want perpendicular to this line. So we don't want the slope -1/3. We want the slope of +3 over 1, or just 3. And there's my xy they give me. So y equals mx plus b. The perpendicular slope is 3. My x is -2. My y is 4. Add 6 back to both sides. B is 10. So the answer is going to be y equals 3x plus 10. And number 16, parallel means use that slope, but problem is here, this is not in the right form. So like we did a few problems in this series, we have to get it equal to y. So the first thing I do is move over the 2x. Now I'm going to divide by 10. This looks pretty familiar to one that we did before, right? 2/10 reduces to 1/5. So we want something parallel to that line. Parallel means I'm going to use that slope and that point. I'm not going to change the slope if it says parallel. So my slope is 1/5. My x is 10. My y is 0. So I have 0 equals 10 over 5 is 2. Subtract the 2 over, and I have -2. So I'm using this slope with this b. Final answer, y equals 1/5 x minus 2. Make sure all that's done for tomorrow. We'll finish reviewing and test on Thursday.